We'll start by finding a child's pose on the mat. So coming to knees wide, toes together. Arms can stretch out to the top of the mat, and your hips can sink towards your heels. If you'd like a different posture, you can bring your knees together for restorative child's pose, arms down by your side. In both ways, forehead will rest on the mat. And start to bring awareness to your breath. If it's possible, breathing in through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Maybe deepening the breath and making it even on your inhales and exhales. Settling in here and just offering this time for God to do the work that you need today. You're welcome to come back to this posture at any point during the practice. And you can stay in it the whole time, or you can lay on your mat the whole time. Just doing whatever your body needs today. We're going to start the practice today with a scripture from the book of Isaiah, chapter 61. The Spirit of the Sovereign Lord is on me, because the Lord has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim freedom for the captives and release from darkness for the prisoners, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor and the day of vengeance of our God, to comfort all who mourn and provide for those who grieve in Zion, to bestow on them a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. They will be called oaks of righteousness, a planting of the Lord for the display of his splendor. Instead of your shame, you will receive a double portion, and instead of disgrace, you will rejoice in your inheritance. And so you will inherit a double portion in your land, and everlasting joy will be yours. As we are seeking to invite God and cultivate more shalom in our lives, this week we're going to be focusing on and talking about and exploring the mind and how our minds are always in the act of creating something. And as creations of a creator made in the image of God, we are creative beings. And so our minds are always doing some kind of creating. And this week we're going to be drawing our attention to what that is. What are we creating with our thoughts, with our words? And in turn, many of these thoughts and words become how we live out our lives. So as we practice today, I invite you to tune in. Listen closely for the mantras that you play in your mind. Whether you're conscious of them or not, most of us don't even realize the things we're saying to ourselves. But when we start to pay attention, we can listen, we can hear, and we can reframe if, in fact, these things are mostly negative, like most people's are. When you're ready, starting to press hands into the mat, pressing knees into the mat and rising up to a tabletop. Take a breath here as you inhale, release the belly, reach the head forward, the heart forward. And as you exhale, spine to sky, release the head and neck. Moving a few times at your own pace, just waking up the spine, getting into the side body if you'd like. And noticing if you're holding any tension, where it is in the body. And then finding a stationary tabletop, reaching the right leg back as you inhale. Breathe here. Finding stability in the hands that are on the mat and the knee that is on the mat. You can roll the ankle one way or the other, or point and flex the toe. Keeping strong in the body here. And then reach it up high behind you, far behind you, high behind you, and then bring the knee to the nose on your exhale. Inhale, press it back. Exhale, knee to left elbow. Inhale, press it back. Exhale, knee to right elbow. Inhale, back. Good. Exhale, release that knee down to the mat. We'll go to the opposite side. Left leg presses back. Breathing here, pointing, flexing the toe, rolling the ankle. See if you can bring weight even into both your hands. And then inhale, reach the high up. Reach the leg up high and back. And then exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, reach it back. Exhale, knee to right elbow. Inhale, back. Exhale, knee to left elbow. Inhale, back. And then plant the knee. Good. Take a breath here. And then when you're ready, coming into a down dog. So tucking the toes, lifting the hips here. Pedaling out the legs if you want, bending one knee and the other. And then inhale, reach the left leg high. And then exhale, bring it through for lunge. The foot plants between the hands. You can stay on the back toe here, or you can come to the knee. See what feels good for you in this moment. And then come to your breath again, the even inhales and exhales. You can surf it out a little bit here, bending and straightening the front knee. Good, and then finding a stationary position here. Reaching up with the arms, so pressing into the foot, reaching arms up high for crescent lunge. Biceps are by the ears here, palms face one another. See if you can relax the shoulders down the back. Heart shines forward. Breathing here. Lifting up the corners of the lips for smile. Good, and then planting the right heel. We're coming into warrior two. The right heel comes down, arms come wide. Check your knee, your front knee, make sure it's directly above the ankle here. Breathing here. And then for a reverse warrior, the left arm reaches up and back. The right arm can rest on the right leg. Opening up the left side body here, breathing here. Good, back to warrior two. And then we're going to come into a pose called goddess pose. So the right heel is just going to turn in toward the left heel. The knees are pointing out, sinking into this a little bit. The arms can come out by your sides as if you're holding trays on either side, and finding balance here, finding your breath, finding your strength. See if you can find even weight in both feet. And then bring the hands together. Inhale, reach the arms high, 5-pointed star, and then stand up, stretching the legs, stretching the arms, opening the heart. Good, and then hands come together, come back into your goddess pose, and thumbs are going to touch at the forehead. Take a breath here. God, we invite you to renew our minds. We invite you to reveal to us what we speak over ourselves regularly. We invite you to reveal the lies that we speak and believe. And Lord, help us to change those lies into your truth. Help us to reframe in a way that is truthful and honoring to you and to us. And then bringing the thumbs, hands together still at the mouth. God, help us to speak love over ourselves, the way that you speak over us. Help us to be the voice of love to others, and help us to praise you with our lives. Hands come together at the heart. God, please unify our heart, mind, body, and soul in true shalom. Help us to know and remember that we are your beloved. Help us to live and act out of that truth. As you inhale, pressing into the legs, arms reach wide, inhale. And then pointing the toes forward, you can fold forward for a wide-legged forward fold. Here you can bend the knees slightly if you'd like. As you inhale, lengthen the spine from where you are, and as you exhale, fold a little deeper. Good, walking the hands over to the left side, the left foot, breathing into the back of the leg and the side body. And walking the hands over to the right side. Breathing here, releasing head and neck if that feels okay. And then pointing the right toes forward, coming into a crescent lunge on this side. So the right foot will plant, the left toes are on the mat. If you would like the knee down, you can bring the knee down. And as you inhale, reach the arms up high, crescent lunge. Biceps by the ears, palms face one another. Good. And then coming into warrior two, the left heel comes down this time. Arms come wide. Knee is directly above the ankle. Breathing here. Strong in your warrior. And then inhale, reverse. The right arm reaches back. Breathe here into that right side body. Left arm can rest on the left thigh. Back to warrior two. And then back to goddess pose. Knees pointing out over toward the toes, heels pointing in toward one another. See if you can keep your back straight and long, the spine long, reaching toward the sky. The hips sinks a little deeper, hands at heart. Breathing here. Instead of your shame, you will receive a double portion. And instead of disgrace, you will rejoice in your inheritance. And so you will inherit a double portion in your land, and everlasting joy will be yours. God, thank you for being a God of instead. That instead of the thoughts, the negative thoughts and the negative feelings we have about ourselves and our lives, you replace those. You replace those with truth. So God, we invite you to replace any of our lies with truth today. Let it resonate. Let the truth of your word resonate in our hearts. Bringing the hands up to the forehead. God, let the truth of your words resonate in our minds. Hands to the lips. God, let the truth of your words and your heart transform the way we speak to ourselves. Help us to speak in love, to reframe the negativity into your truth and your life, God. Inhale, the arms come high, straightening the knees, 5-pointed star. Reach the heart up towards the sky and breathe here. Taking in the love that God has for you. Allowing Him to redefine whatever mantras you have going in your mind. Letting Him redefine that into joy, into beauty, into gladness. Hands can come to the heart as you walk your feet together, standing at the top of your mat. For mountain pose, feet can come a little apart, arms down by your side, palms face forward, grounding your feet into the mat. You can close your eyes if you'd like. Deep inhales and exhales, standing here. Feeling strong and soft at the same time. And in your mind's eye, imagine you're standing before Jesus. Soak in whatever feelings come to you. Notice how your body responds. Inhale, reaching the arms high, extended mountain, taking it all in. And exhale, fold forward, releasing the head and neck. Inhale, halfway lift, hands come to shins, the back is flat. And exhale, fold. We'll do that again as you inhale, rise up, extend the arms, reach high. And exhale, wide arm forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. One more time. Inhale, arms wide. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Planting the hands, coming back to a down dog. Reaching the left leg high on the inhale. Bring it through for a lunge. Foot plants between the hands. The right knee comes down this time. Keeping the right hand down on the mat. Start to reach the left arm up on the inhale. Up high. Palm shines out. Pressing evenly into the hand and the foot and the knee if you can. Breathing here. And then if you'd like, you can reach that left arm back toward the back wall. Breathing here. Noticing the strength in your legs. Good, and then planting the hand on the outside of the foot. coming into pigeon pose. So the left foot's going to scooch over to the right, toward the right wrist, the left knee towards the left wrist. The back knee can scoot back and the toe points directly behind you. So breathing here. And then lowering down when you're ready. If you'd like to lower down further, you can come down to your forearms. Or you can come all the way down, head resting on the forearms. Breathing into the hip space here, any tension or tightness, sending that breath over there. And noticing any of those mantras that come up, any of the words or phrases that you hear when things are quiet, or when something is challenging. Can you notice where your mind goes? And starting to press into the hands, rising up, you can shoot the left leg back. You can be in a tabletop position if you want to shake out the left leg behind you. And coming to a table, and then back to a down dog. Inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, bring it through for lunge on this side, the back knee plant. So we're in low lunge. Again, the knee is directly over the ankle here to protect the knee. And then the left hand will plant right on the inside of the right foot. The right arm reaches up high. Palm faces out, breathing here. You may notice a shake in the leg or somewhere else. And then reaching the right arm back, parallel to the back leg. Breathing here. Again, pressing evenly into that foot, front foot and hand if you can. Good, bringing the hand down. Then working your way to pigeon on this side. Right ankle to left wrist, right knee to right wrist. Back leg comes down. Inhale, reach the heart forward. And exhale, lower down if you want. Breathing in this space. Again, noticing the thoughts that come and go. The power of the mind is an amazing thing, and it is a gift. But it can also overrun our lives if we don't keep it in check. And these practices are one way to do that, is to take time to notice, be intentional about noticing what is happening in the mind, what is your go-to thought process, or maybe it's a criticism of yourself, or maybe there are lies that you've believed from a long time ago that need to be uprooted and need to be reversed by the God who gives the instead, the God who gives the double portion. Maybe you take this opportunity to release any of those lies that you've been believing. And whenever we release something to God, there's space There's space there now. There's space for him to replace it, to give you something instead, and it's always something good. When you feel even on this side, you can start to press the hands into the mat, rising up, coming to a three-legged tabletop or down dog, shaking out the right leg. And then coming to a plank pose. So fingers are spread wide on the mat. The feet come behind you on the toes. Long line from the top of the head to the heels. Trying not to let the belly sink. Trying to have a flat back here. And then lower slowly as you can, all the way down to the mat. You can bring one cheek to the mat here. Arms can come by your side for a moment. And then windshield wiper the legs, left to right, right to left. See if that feels good. And then bringing the tops of toes to the mat, legs zip up, hands come under the shoulders for cobra. So here, we're going to use the breath to move us in this posture. The gaze is just, you're looking down at your mat, maybe a little above your mat. And as you inhale, zip up the legs and press the toes into the mat, reaching the heart forward. Little to no weight in the hands. Elbows are pressing back. Breathing here. Keeping toes pressed into the mat. Legs are strong and engaged. You may rise and fall with the breath here. Strengthening the spine. Good. On your next exhale, lowering all the way down, opposite cheek to the mat, arms down by your side. You can windshield wipe the legs again if you'd like. And then pressing back up, coming back to a child's pose. You can be child's pose or knees together child's pose. An option, if your knees are wide, you can bring the arms underneath the body, hands grab for the feet, one cheek comes to the mat. The Spirit of the Sovereign Lord is on me, because the Lord has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim freedom for the captives and release from darkness for the prisoners, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor and the day of vengeance of our God, to comfort all who mourn and provide for those who grieve in Zion, to bestow on them a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. They will be called oaks of righteousness, a planting of the Lord for the display of his splendor. Instead of your shame, you will receive a double portion, and instead of disgrace, you will rejoice in your inheritance. And you will inherit a double portion in your land, and everlasting joy will be yours. What are the insteads that God has for you? What are those lies that may have become part of your mantras? What can he and does he want to replace those with? Connecting to him, connecting to the source, listening to him allows for us to create a new way. And that's what he wants. He is always creating. And we are too. How can we create with him as the source, with him as the guide, with him as the voice behind our voice? You're welcome to stay here in child's pose, or if you'd like to make your way to your back, you can gently rise up and come to your back for the rest of your time. I'll end with this blessing from Jan L. Richardson. That you will see in the way God longs you to see. That you will be given vision that speaks precisely to and through who you are. That the holy will reveal itself, unhide itself, divulge itself in you. You're welcome to be here as long as you'd like. And I encourage you, if you have some time, to process after this, to journal, to create something, to do something that will help you go deeper in whatever God is speaking to you.